yourself.
Hello, hello, everyone. I hope that you are having a great Friday. So, I'm the Boogeyman, and I made this hack that you are going to see called Luminescent. I released it in late 2021, so it's just a bit over 6 months old at this point. And yes, Stu is going to show us the skills to demonstrate how he got the world record. He currently has the world record for any percent, which I believe is 30:07.
It was like 30:07.97 or something like that, so I just marked it as 08.
Okay.
I didn't want to have any...
Still a very, very good time. I didn't even think it was possible to get down to 30 minutes when I first released the hack. So really props to you for getting that really, really good time.
Yo, thanks. And it's cool because we've actually been in the final level before on 29 pace. Choked it a little bit, but it shows that it's definitely doable.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So here we got our first cool strat. We've got a Galumba nudge into the bottom block for speed, if I can get through there. What is the intended way to do that again? I don't actually even remember. I guess you just
for
like
the Galumba, or
yeah, for the Galumba. Do you just like bounce on it, land on the clouds, grab the Galumba, and then jump again to throw into the spin block? So you have like 2 or 3 extra jumps or something.
Yeah, you just have to land on him and use him to get through the troll blocks. And you actually did something that I didn't even know you could do, is break the break block and then jump back on the platform. It was not intended. I know it would be possible. I would probably have put a one way or something.
Yeah. So this level, we actually do have a crazy strat. I am going to grab the halfway, which is going to make me do an extra cycle of back and forth. But just for safety, we're going to grab that. So normally I wouldn't grab it so I could get P-speed on that cycle, but instead I have to do like that. And we're going to maintain P-speed. Ideally, yes, we got it. Okay, so we're going to keep P-speed throughout the rest of this section. Nice.
I was blown away when I saw that for the first time. I didn't even know you could just preserve your P-speed like that. So always pretty fascinating to see it in action.
So if you want to talk about the end right there, what's going on? Because there are a few trolls in this hack, right?
There are. I tried to stick to unique trolls. I don't like to go with things like the classic things like Kaizo blocks and just like post-gold death. Though there is one in one of the levels in this hack, but I tried to go with more unique trolls, and I also really like to go with self-trolls, which is like things that influence the player, but dying to those things is pretty much their fault. So there are a couple of them as well in this hack. And this here is, as you can probably see, the mechanic here is pretty much on-off blocks that activate or deactivate certain blocks of water. And yeah, you have to navigate through them. This section is... it brought a lot of trouble to a lot of players because jumping from sideways water is really hard and is not often asked to do it in a run or in a casual hack, so it tripped a few players during their first playthrough.
And there was a cool strat at the end of that previous room. We were able to skip a cycle by going fast enough, up swimming through the water and cutting past one of the top right water pools.
Yeah, you basically skip one pool of water and then you can save like half a second or something like that, which is still like a good amount of time saved.
Every frame counts, in my opinion.
Yeah. By the way, if anybody in chat has question about the hack or whatever, I'll be keeping an eye on chat, so just let me know.
Yeah, please direct all your questions to Borgie.
I think it's pretty much the first time I've been invited to comment on my own hack, so it's an honor, by the way. Thank you for inviting me.
Pleasure to have you, man. It's awesome to hear the creator's perspective.
This level, this is really the... when people say, oh, this level, this is the oldest level of this hack.
When I was tasked with learning this run, I was definitely nervous about this one. You can have the mechanic here, if you're not aware, is, and this is a vanilla thing. The coin blocks, the trails follow Mario's direction. So if I press, well, there you go. If I press right, they go right. If I press up, they start going up until I press another D-pad entrance or input. So you have to navigate this section, kaizoing along the way, while also maintaining your snake block. Or in the previous level room was the coin block, the coin trail, and that's tricky on the previous room because of the disco shell, because you're balancing on a disco, which requires some left-right inputs. And so you can easily get an up or down ghost input while trying to flip back and forth, and then the coin trail hits a wall and dies.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have a bad controller or a controller that tends to give ghost inputs, you're really in for a hard time on this level. But you did it pretty much first try or second try, so
Yeah.
So no big deal.
Thor was asking, how long did the hack take you to make?
It took me about, I'd say maybe 2 years on and off. I did start this hack around the time Invictus was released. It was released about the end of 2018, so quite a long time ago. But I did pick up pace on work on it during last summer. So basically, I made one level once in a while, like over the span of 2.5 years, and then starting like June or July, I pretty much started to work on it full time. You know, with the pandemic and not being able to do to work in my line of work. I am an artist, a comic artist who often goes on conventions and stuff like that. And there was none of that last year, so I was pretty much stuck at home. And this is pretty much my pandemic project, if you will.
No better thing to do than making some childhood video games, right? It's a good time.
And I've always dreamed of making a Mario game. You know, with Lunar Magic was released in 2000, I believe, and I got my hands on it in like 2005, and I like worked on it a bit once in a while, but I never had any project on making a full hack until two years ago.
Just to interject real quick, so in this room, we're chasing the orb down, and you can actually...
And you did the speed strat here.
Yep. So in the first half of the chase, you can actually... I've touched the orb before, but it's not in a spot where you can actually survive. So you do actually need to wait till the second half of the chase scene. But you'll notice that I hit the left question block first to unlock it, and then the right. So I was able to keep pace with it, essentially, and eventually catch up just in the nick of time to get like a few jumps early, if you will.
Here's another level that befuddled a few players as well. In this one, you have to feed Yoshi all the berries you can see, and they all have different effects depending on Yoshi's state. So here you eat 5 berries and he becomes big, and then you have to eat all the berries while being in midair. So you have to really keep yourself, your position really bouncing on Koopas and on platforms while catching those very hard to reach apples.
Here we see if we get the speed strat right here. We're gonna try to get an early mount on Yoshi and not lose the berry. There we go. So if you eat the berry from the side that I was attempting to, there is a chance that you could be too far left and it gets pooped out.
There's a very big chance of
yes.
that. It was entirely calculated.
So we came up with a strat where we can get the right arc. So actually, when I set that up, I go at a certain Y position that's slightly below the ceiling and then go upright, such that I have that upward momentum upon losing my P-balloon, and that gives me enough horizontal distance to make it. Also, we're going to poop the mushroom out to the right. You see we turned Yoshi around to make sure the mushroom comes closer to us rather than further away to get a little bit of speed strat. And the final one here, we're going to get a nudge and then steal Yoshi. What is the normal strat? What's the intended way to end that?
Pretty much you just you grab Yoshi before he has a chance to eat the shell, and then you use it to destroy the block. So basically a huge time save here, since even just letting Yoshi eat the shell will lose you like precious seconds.
Oh yeah, because yeah, when Yoshi eats the shell, he's gonna get big, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so here we got some more stone blocks, kind of if you remember from Grand Prix 2. So we got to look away, get them in the right position so we get on top of them. These ones aren't quite as vicious as the Grand Prix 2 ones, though. And then we got a slight tricky ending here. You have to time out when to mount that Yoshi. And it feels sometimes like a little bit variable because of like whatever you're doing with the camera at the time. Sometimes you're gonna spawn in the muncher guy. Oops, I forgot to spin jump. You're gonna spawn him in earlier or later, right?
Yep, there is a spawn dependent. Depending where you are on your jump and when you scroll, it's gonna fall sooner or later. So you have to hold your jump a bit before going further, or else it's gonna be it's not gonna be aligned with you.
And then this part, we do have a nice speed strat. Right hand up. Remember about the hand tells you things. So that means I'm facing left, which allows the stone blue to be moving, because I'm not looking at him technically. Since I had that right hand up once I started, that's just the way the game ends up working in that particular section. And I think it was Vega. Shoutouts to Vega, who was the one who helped science that specific portion out. Because we went through several different iterations in the run trying to figure out a way to do that part fast and secure. But once we found out about like getting the top left corner with the right hand up, and then that always worked, it's been a godsend, if you will.
Ooh, all props to Vega.
Yeah.
By the way, a question that I believe is the Yum, another Yum.
4 for 4, let's go.
Yeah, props for getting like all 3 Yums on on Grand Prix Bear.
Yeah.
Grand Prix World 2, and then you're getting this one. So yeah, you're on a roll tonight.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what were you gonna say? You have plenty of time.
Question for you. How hard is it to play like this and also live commentate that clearly?
It is definitely can be a challenge. I think my Grand Prix World 2 took a little bit of a hit, but it's a lot of fun. I wouldn't trade it for World. It's awesome to be able to play and talk about all these. I'm a speed nerd, man. When it comes to speed running and stratting, you know, I could go on for hours and hours about the most minute details about what saves 0.05 seconds. And, you know, like just the other night I was sciencing out RNG boss patterns, and I had to make 25 different save states to determine that there was 11 different boss patterns for a boss in Rift 2. So it's just like, I live for this stuff. This is so much fun. So, you know, shout outs to SNES Super Stars Marathon and SpeedGaming for giving us the opportunity to have some fun here tonight with this little Kaizo block.
Yeah, thanks a lot, SpeedGaming and Superstars Marathon. And here's another oldest level here. So Everwell Corridor, where the gimmick in this one is that every sprite acts like they're stuck in a wall. So it does bring some quirks to the gameplay here. So whenever you would throw a shell, like enemies would spawn, they would always be stuck and like kind of vibe left and right, and sometimes they can be a bit unpredictable to where they're going to be. So so dying to a few like misalignment is highly possible in some place. And then here you have the you have what people call the Yoshi ladder. So basically Yoshi, whenever he's stuck in a wall, will always go up, and this is what's happening here. And you have to pretty much juggle with him and eat all the berries. I really had the thing with with eating berries in this act, because like you saw, eating 10 berries would grant you a mushroom, and it's pretty much needed to get through this ending troll there, which Stu got first time.
That was a picture perfect execution of that room. So we did spend a lot of time optimizing that, knowing exactly when to tongue. We also do like a weird claw grip for that, so we're able to hold the run button and also tongue and also slow fall, which requires holding the jump button. So there's a lot of inputs, very input heavy.
Yeah, requires some really wacky end placements for this one. So here, here the mechanic is Here the mechanic is well, it's not exactly mechanic, but it's like quirks, small bugs that revolve around the nets, which is if you stand by a block while being on a net, you can activate blocks, and you can also you can also you can punch Koopas like this one. So it's a set of different mechanics, really obscure mechanics that you can find in the original game that I just exploit here. So really obscure stuff that you don't see often, even in Kaizo hacks.
So Corridor plus Flip-Flop plus Fungus Fortress plus Atomic Dip Tunnel, which are some of the upcoming levels. This is what I call the gauntlet of the speedrun for Luminescent, and you can see why. This is a very tricky room. We already got a Bowser skip. We swam over the top. Oh, we got the start of this. Oh, I got, okay. So we're gonna up toss the Galumba right there to make sure it has 0 speed when it drops down here. So you need to make sure it goes straight down. But we also, unfortunately, were not able to prevent the timer of the Galumba from resetting. If you toss the Galumba to the left or right, it resets the timer, and you have to wait the full duration again. You can get through that section without resetting the timer, but it's extremely tight. I was trying to drop the Galumba to not reset the timer, but I accidentally got a kick instead of a drop. So I had to do that the traditional way, or the intended way, unfortunately.
Yeah, very tricky.
And then we have this, which I don't know. I assume that you didn't know about this upon creation. We're going to clip through a stone block to access this Koopa.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're supposed to punch this Koopa. There we go. And we drop back across our body. So if I tap right and then left, the shell goes to my right side, and then I drop it, and it goes across my body into my hand. If you just are facing left the whole time and try to drop it, it's out in front of you, and you can't grab it again. So that's a little cool piece of tech right there. And again, you have to go at the right position, and you can see I had to do a slight adjustment to get to the right part of the stone block. And then there's a little bit of sliver of room between the rope and the net, and you have to jump into that sliver, but not too high that you die to the disco shell. But jumping in that sliver puts you back in front of the net. So yeah, it's a little bit of a cheese there for sure.
Yeah, very impressive. I think it was Mangord that came up with this strat. Shout out to Mangord, who is in chat, by the way. I think he is the first that I've seen use this strat. So shout outs to him. So here, this is Atomic Dip Tunnel, which is a one screen type of level. And here you have two types of I can't remember their name. Munchers, yeah, munchers. So you have the static munchers that you encounter in pretty much all hacks, and then you have sprite ones which will fall whenever the platforms despawn or become intangible below them. So you have to get the star here, and then they become platforms to you. And here, Stu is going to perform not exactly speed trick, more like a shortcut that has been undiscovered until maybe the beginning of the year. It stayed undiscovered for a long time. So basically, you have this boss here, and you can defeat it with the throw block.
Yeah, so if you have to time it right. So I do have a specific setup to know when to move to the right, when to jump, when to throw. All that's very, very calculated because you only get one shot. You get one shot to hit that. Yeah. If you fail, you have to play the second half of the level. Imagine playing the game the intended way, right? Yeah, absolutely not. No, thank you. So we want to make sure to hit that. Yeah.
Game.
I did practice the second half though, just in case we failed that. I did practice to make sure I knew how to do it. So
that would send you into the second part of the game, which is like Mario falling to the lava, and then he basically is on fire, and you have to beat the timer to reach a pool of water that would extinguish you, basically. But we won't see that in the 80% run. It is pretty much obligatory if you were to do like the 100% run, though.
So here I'm gonna do a little bit of a cheese.
A lot harder.
That cheese doesn't actually save. Oh, okay. That cheese doesn't save time, if I remember correctly. But I felt it to be easier to do the shell jump right there instead of the intended strat, which is these. If you want to talk about the mechanic of this level, real quick about the yellow blocks, go right ahead.
Yeah, so basically those are like extendo blocks from Super Mario 3D World, I think. So whenever you would hit a block, you would have another block extending. So that's why you see like this whole tower of blocks going up whenever there's a shell at it. So the first half mostly has those blocks, and then in the second half you have those red blocks that spawn munchers instead. So sometimes they help you to reach other parts of the level, and sometimes they are, of course, obstacles. So you have to navigate through them very, very carefully here. So you have to wait for this one.
Yeah, we have a setup there where I did. If you notice, I did an intentional jump as a timing mechanism, a min jump, to time out when the muncher on top would go away, and then I jump up there and throw the red shell really early to make sure that the yellow extendo blocks are fully expanded by the time I reach there with P speed. So a nice little speed strat. And then this is like the level I salivate over when I actually get to do it well in the run. This is extremely tricky. Lost plenty of runs here. We're gonna start with a block grab. And there's going to be multiples of those in this, and they're across the body throw. Again, remember, across the body makes it go further to, or keep it closer to Mars. So I'm able to jump on top of it. A steal right there, and then right in just barely. Followed by...
Watching Stu play this level is always so impressive. And he got it first.
That was
try.
a gorgeous first half.
Gorgeous.
That is what you like to see.
Always super impressed by the speed strats in this level, because there are quite a lot. It's just working with this mushroom, which tends to be janky once in a while. Working with it and being able to pull all those moves really hats off.
Yeah, let's not pay attention to the thing I just. This part is like easy, but I whiffed on landing there. I had like 4 chances to fix it. Got another block grab right there, and then I'm gonna do one try at the speed strat. We're gonna toss across. I didn't get okay. So the speed strat there is to do a block grab midair off of a backwards drop like that, and to get early access. But now you'll get to see the intended strat, because again, I'm only gonna risk it the one time. For you guys, just so you can get a sense of like all the really cool things in this hack / run. So what we do, we drop this in the designated slot, and then we just wait. And there we go. So now we got the halfway. Now we got a cool strat right here to get an early eat. 4-speed Yoshi, if you will. Oh, it didn't give me credit for a jump. Come on.
And here you pretty much have to use the mushrooms again. By the way, this Yoshi grab that you're doing, always super impressive to watch. Yeah, so you pretty much have to use those mushroom blocks to go through this pretty little place here, and you have to reuse them. So whenever you're done with the leftmost block, you have to grab it with Yoshi and use it for the rightmost part, etc.
Oh my! So, I looked away for just a fraction of a second. Almost got okay. I'm gonna die intentionally right there just to redo this. There's a really fast strat to cheese this boss. I got a lot of lag there, but I'll talk about it really quickly. What happens there is the boo only moves when after it's not been hit, right? So after it gets hit, it's like a stun, if you will. In the meantime, you can make more blocks travel towards him, or more mushrooms travel towards him, and those will like give him damage as soon as they get there as well. So he gets like stun lock. Yeah. And the only thing is you have to be mindful of the lag. If you have 3 mushrooms on screen active at the same time, it lags. So what I try to do is 3 2 2 2 1 or 3 2 2 1 2. In either case, as long as you delay the second overall mushroom toss, you get very, very minimal lag. But it's a gorgeous looking boss when you get to do it that fast.
Because getting lag, although it may seem fast in game, you actually lose precious seconds to that in real time. So So this one is the CN Tower, which is named after the building in Toronto because I am Canadian, and this is kind of a parallel between this one and Skytree. Skytree is a type of level where you have to pretty much catch back to a vine like this one, and Skytree is also a building in Tokyo, I believe. So it's kind of a parallel between those two buildings. That's why I named it CN Tower. And here, the additional gimmick is that you have to navigate through a series of fast-scrolling pipes, which is continued here in the second half, while clearing the way. So you have several blocks, several shells that you need to not only clear the way for yourself, but also for the vine. And it requires like a very, very quick movement, decision-making. And as well as not destroying everything on your way. So if you do destroy those shells that we just passed, it actually doesn't destroy the blocks that are needed for the vine to continue up. So here's the last move, and nice. You have to time it right. So you don't destroy the shell with your star power. So as it ends, you like a few frames later, you get to spin on the shell.
Yeah, if you jump into the if you jump into the up arrow too early, you kill the shell because you still have star power. If you jump too late, you die to the munchers because your star power runs out. So it's gotta get the Goldilocks time. Oops, the Goldilocks timing right there. Okay, so this is an interesting one for all you cape lovers out there.
Cape level.
Yeah. You have infinite cape in this one, so if you want to talk about that real quick.
Yep. I do love cape. I know a lot of people don't like cape because it does require some advanced techniques, to master properly. So I wanted to do something where instead of like, letting people, the players, having to build up P-speeds in order to fly, I'm just gonna give them P-speed for free. And it opens up the door for a lot of very cool moves that you will never be able to pull off with regular capes. So basically, whenever Stu jumps, he will gain flight. So he can...
Which is tricky right here, because you actually want to not gain flight, so I like remove the Y or release the Y button before I fall off that, so I don't get an accidental flight. Because it almost like a little bit of a troll in this section.
Yeah, it can play against yourself indeed.
Smooth.
Nice.
Yeah, this level, the second and third sections aren't too bad for me in the run, but it's the first section with that dive bomb. And there's several parts that are very tricky. Multiple inputs required in a short time frame. To get everything to line up correctly and behave properly. Very easy to lose your flight mid-trick. And we got a little bit of a strat right there to steal the shell a cycle early. It is a tight window, though, to not only get the shell steal like that, but then finishing off the rest of the first half. And you can see right there, I was rushing it, and then because I know I'm on a tight timer, and ended up on the wrong side of the 2 bucket, because this one, unfortunately, is on the left half. Hopefully we can sit... Okay, see how we just barely get that. That's how tight that strat is. Yeah.
Because Stu is getting the shell earlier, he skips a cycle, which means that everything becomes so more tighter. So, and he was able to pull it off, so that's pretty cool. And here he needs to beat the P-switch timer and actually build a bridge out of those coins that will revert back to blocks as soon as the P-switch runs out. There we go.
Let's go.
Nice.
This is a pretty spicy run we've got brewing here. It's not a world record pace, but this is a 33 quality pace right now, and
really not bad, yeah.
That's a nice time.
Yeah, really nice time. Here we go, terminal climb, final level.
If you want to talk about who's our main baddie in this, who are we fighting in this hack called Luminescent?
So basically, when you get into the hack, you're being given a bit of lore in that those mysterious glowing blocks that you've been seeing pretty much all around the hack, they've started to fall and scatter around the landscape, and Mario has to investigate, the source of this. So basically, it brings him down to Terminal Climb, which is this level, the last level in any percent, and you get those falling blocks here that are not quite they're not quite the luminescent blocks, but they do seem to be related. And you have to work your way through those. As you can see, you can defeat them with Cape. Some of them help you to reach other places, but yeah, in general, they're pretty much in your way. So Mario is about to discover what is the true enemy, the true source of all this misery in this hack. Whenever he's done with the with the Cape section here, which is not. It's not like it's not unlimited flight as opposed to the level earlier. And here, a nice sticky fly here.
Yeah, we have a very nice assisted sticky fly using the slanted ceiling. And remember, in Grand Prix World 2, I talked about sticky fly. You get the right timing on your pull up against the ceiling, you're gonna be able to like
bust time.
You're gonna be able to. Oh, did I not? No, wait. Did I not split? Did I do something bad? I don't know what I did. Anyways, you're able to stay up against the ceiling while flying. Normally, when you're flying, you'd be starting to eventually start dropping down and down and down. But against if you get the sticky fly, you just stay up the whole time. You got to kind of see the artifact of that in Grand Prix 2, but you didn't get to see the actual visual of it. So this time, you actually got to see what it looks like to get sticky fly. And so it's a really cool looking thing, and it feels really swaggy when you pull it off.
So here we are fighting the true final boss of this game, which is Tetris blocks. So the lore goes as the Tetris block being jealous of Mario's influence in the video game industry, so they want to take revenge on him. They are the superior game after all, so they go full on scale attack against him. Especially in this second part, which is a lot more intense, it's quicker. You have to be a lot quicker on your feet. I did put some arrows in there, for the player to be able to predict on where they're gonna fall. But
I didn't even realize that.
It still does require some really quick and nimble movements.
And then,
here's the generator here, and it's all clogged.
Yeah, and I almost got the fast strat. I got the first two just fine. Whiffed on the third block, but not too bad, not too shabby.
And here you have the final escape, which is pretty much Mario after defeating the Tetris block. Everything collapses around him, so he needs to escape before he's buried alive. And it's kind of a repeat of a lot of the gimmicks you can find throughout the game. So you got the water blocks, you have the mushroom here who makes a comeback. You have the chomps here as well. So pretty much everything you've learned into much everything you've learned into this game are being put in a kind of final test here.
Unfortunate. That was we died at the very end.
Yeah, got to the almost last obstacle.
Yeah. To be honest, I've been having a lot of trouble with the that ending vine and the right after it as well. So I'm not too surprised to take a death there, but it does hurt because it's time consuming. But
yeah,
let's see if we can get it this time. I'll take it very safe there that time. Oh my gosh. Those are dead. If you touch those, you die. By the way.
Yeah,
that was, woo, did not have much room there. But hey, we secured the 33. Let's go.
All right.
Not bad.
34.
Yeah. We take that all day. So that is it for the Kaizo block that we had prepared for today. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Big shouts again to Beef Stew for joining on the El Dorado, and then obviously Borgie here for Luminescent. So definitely give them a round of applause for creating such great hacks. Definitely go check them out and try out their hacks if you're feeling daring. Anything you'd like to say, Borgie?
Yeah, if you'd like to try this hack, it's available on smwcentral.net. Just search for Luminescent. It's I wouldn't recommend it as a first hack. It's pretty difficult. It's pretty intermediate, I'd say. But if you're up for a good casual challenge, I'd strongly recommend it. And yeah, there'll be more in the future. I am not out of ideas for future Mario levels. And I even, like, at this very moment, I'm working on new levels. So yeah, if you want to keep updated, the Boogeyman on Twitter. This is where I'm most active. So invite you to follow me there if you'd like to keep up to date with my Kaizo adventures.
Sounds good. And thanks again to SNES Super Stars Marathon for having us, allowing us to showcase these awesome hacks. And enjoy the rest of the marathon. Take it easy, guys.
See ya.